We can start Sultan. I don't know who wants to go first.
Hey,
Hi, Sultan.
hey Faruk bro, are you from Bangladesh?
Yes, I'm from Bangladesh.
Okay, so whereabouts Bangladesh?
And you from?
Yeah, I'm from Bangladesh and I'm from Sylhet.
Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, I'm from Khulna.
Okay, Khulna, that's good.
Yeah. So have you ever been to Khulna?
Yes, I've been there in 2016.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, guys, you can start. I think I'm gonna pair you. Let me check. Aneesh, coming. Do you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is it okay? Me and Faruk will be partners, then Renjith and Sultan, then Rousiya and Aneesh, if that's fine.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay, who wants to go first? Do you want me to ask you questions first, or you ask me questions first?
You can ask me first.
All right. Let me check. So which part do you wanna answer? Part 2, part 3, part 1,
Part 3, ma'am.
part 3. All right, your part 3 is about
Yes.
it's about a family, or it's about family in general. Okay, your first question is, who is usually the leader in in a Bangladesh family?
Well, actually, in Bangladesh, the family pattern is patriarchal family, and the father almost take the lead and who run over the family. But in the last few decades, the situation is changing a bit, and the decision-making place is divided to both father and mother. This is a good sign of women empowerment in our country, and it is improving day by day.
Okay, before I proceed to the next question, I'll make a comment about your run over. Run over means when you hit somebody with your car. That's run over. So that's not a phrase that you use when somebody is running the family as the head. You can just say take the lead or run the family, not
Okay,
not with over. And this is for everybody in case. Okay, next question. How do grandparents take care of their children?
sorry, ma'am. How do grandparents?
Yes, how do grandparents take care of their children? I think it means grandchildren.
Yeah. Well, actually, in our country, most of the family are joint family, which was available before 2 or 3 decades ago, particularly in the rural area, where the grandparents play vital role for socializing their grandchild. They pass their quality time with their grandchildren. But due to urbanization and industrialization, the the situation is changing a lot, where nuclear family is taking place, mainly in the urban area, where the grandchildren have very few scope to meet with their grandparents who are particularly staying in their village home. But occasionally they visit their grandparents, but all the time they don't get the touch of their grandparents.
Okay, next question. What's the most important quality of a good parent?
Well, I think the quality of parent varies from person to person, because some parents try to raise their children in a very strict manner, but some parents give some relax and give a bit freedom to make their decision. But I think parents should in a medium phase, so that they give some sorts of freedom to take their decision, particularly what they will study. As for example, in our country in class 9, you have to decide whether you are going to study science, business studies, or humanities. In most cases, the parents impose their children to study science, which is very frequent in the urban area.
Oh,
Sometimes those pressure become a burden for the children, because every students have no such type of capability to study science. So I think parents should consider the contemporary situation, as well as they can just monitor or they can motivate. So if you go this track, then you will get this type of facilities, or you will be in such position. And if you go the other way, then you will reach at such certain position. Then the students can take their decision. So I think parents can play important role for raising their children.
okay. Thank you very much. That's okay. Your last question is, how can new parents learn about parenting?
Well, a few years ago, the concept of parenting was almost absent in our country. But in within 2 or 3 years, the concept is becoming popular, and many online platforms, they are offering different types of parenting courses, and many writers are writing books on parenting, as well as different translator. They bring different prominent writers parenting book and translated in my mother languages. As for example, as I am a new father, I got some sorts of book from online bookshop about parenting, and I purchased those, and I'm trying to study those books to be a good parent.
Okay, good job, Faruk. That's good. So now let me just share with you, because while you were speaking, I also Googled run over, because you see, like, that's me. Even when I'm 100% sure of the meaning of a word or a phrasal verb, for example, or phrase, I still wanna make sure. I'll Google it. And so I did. And the meaning of run over, there are several meanings. Number one is knock a person or animal down and pass over their body. So example, I almost ran over the raccoon. So it's like you ran over by you run over someone or an animal with your car or your vehicle.
Okay.
Like second meaning, it says overflow, spill over. That's also a meaning of run over. An example here, it says the bats running over, or like a water running over, spill over. Okay, of a container or its contents. Overflow, that's also the meaning. Another one, number 3, exceed an expected limit. Exceed or go over. Okay, sentence, the filming ran over schedule and budget. So that's, you can use also run over. And another meaning, number 4, repeat, recapitulate, that's another meaning. And sentence, go over something quickly as a reminder or rehearsal. Her mind ran over the previous conversation. So I just thought I wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, so it's my turn now, Faruk. You can
Yes,
ask me questions.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Who?
Actually, I have a question regarding of his speaking. So, do you think his intonation is good enough while he was speaking?
You mean Faruk? Yeah, I want to save the comments for like just messaging, because everybody's waiting to get their turn to speak. And if I keep giving feedback or comments, then others who can only spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes here on the practice, they won't get a chance to speak. So I would, for example, if I want to comment about Farooq's intonation, I'll just message him.
Okay, ma'am.
Is that okay, Sultan?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah, I can share a little bit just quickly, because I think, for example, it's important, and plus I know that I'm gonna go quickly, so that everybody won't have to sit there and waiting, oh, when is my turn? Oh my goodness, why is it taking so long? I need to sleep. So there are things that I need to consider. Like you also, Sultan, I don't want you to keep waiting and for your turn.
Yeah,
Is that okay? Okay, and you can message me, Sultan. You can message me if there is something that you want to ask, but I always suggest that you Google, because, oh boy, on Google, it's a landmine of gems, what you can learn. Just type what you want to ask to a person, just type it, the same phrase on Google, and you will get tons of answers.
Yeah, okay, sure, I'll do it. And maybe I would ask you about that, but I thought that maybe it would be too late to get answer, because you are now getting the vibe of his speaking. So this is why I just asked you. No problem. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll limit my comments to just one phrase or whatever, or one topic. All right. So now, Farooq, I'm ready when you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. From which part?
You can ask me. Okay, let's say, do you have a cue card question for me?
Okay.
Okay, and you can send.
Describe an occasion when you ate a kind of. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Please. Describe an occasion.
Describe an occasion when you ate a kind of food for first time.
When you eat, I think it's better if you send it as a screenshot to our.
So at this moment.
You send it on.
I'm just writing in the chat box.
Okay, that's also good. You really need to start with the describe because I didn't get those words there. Describe a. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna describe, Faruk. I'm sorry, I missed that.
The title
Okay,
goes below.
when you ate a kind of food for the first time. Oh boy, this is hard. Oh, oh no. Okay, so do you have a timer that you can? Oh, I'm getting nervous now with this question. Okay, describe when you ate a kind of food for the. All right, okay, I'll do that. Now, okay, so and why you felt about it. I don't understand the question. Okay. Okay, I can start speaking now. Over the years, I've tried a lot of different food, and some of them that I've tasted only for the first time. But if I have to talk about something I tasted for the first time, it will be the food that's called beet soup. It's a kind of soup that that is made out of a beet. Beet is a crop that you get from under the ground, and the color of this thing is purple. So when you make a soup, the soup is purple. I'll give the details in a moment about this soup. So I was in my friend's place. She invited me for a dinner along with other friends. Her name is Debbie, and she said that she's gonna prepare some food. And she asked us what kind of food we wanted. Anyways, this took place shortly before the outbreak of the pandemic. So it will have been 2 years in November since this thing happened. Yeah, it will have been 2 years. Yeah. So she invited us, and when I look at the food, I was like looking at it and was wondering, and she could see from my face that it was like, to me, it was so strange. And she said, I can change that if you don't like it. And I said, no, it's okay. It's just that it's the first time that I saw this food, So I said to her, I'm willing to try it. So then she said, okay, all right. So we enjoyed the dinner. Okay, whatever. I think that's about it. So I hope it went well. Okay, anyone wants to give me some feedback? Just quick feedback. All right, now let's see Aneesh and Rousiya, if that's okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Okay. Hi, Rousiya.
Yes.
Okay. Which part do you want?
Shall I be the examiner first?
Oh, sure.
Which part?
Sorry.
Which part do you prefer?
Part 3.
Part 3. Okay. Do teachers be funny when they teach?
Sorry. Which is?
Should teachers be funny when they teach?
Yes, of course. Most of the teachers are funny in their whenever they're teaching to the child, because nowadays the students are not at all interested in studying some subject. So whenever we teach in funny ways, that will help to improve their skills, and they will do a lot of funny ways to teach to the students. It will help to improve their sufficient knowledge, and also at that time student will remember a lot of optimistic views of the teacher.
Okay. What qualities should teachers have?
I think teachers have a lot of qualities. For instance, a lot of patience, and they motivated for every student. Then they will encourage a lot of activities about how to teach, how to behave with the other person, and also they will encourage a lot of communication skills. And teacher is the predominant role plays in our society also. They only focusing students better career, and they will teach what are the advantages and disadvantages in our life. So whenever they teachers teach a lot of good things about the students, then after that it will help to a lot of students career.
Okay. Which do you think are more important? Practical skills or academic skills?
I think my concern both are very important. Whenever they started to study in academic, it will apply later in practically. So some subject we don't need to academic wise, only is practical only. But most of the professionals, they follow the academic aspect. Once they study the academic thoroughly, it will apply to practical base. So I think that both concepts are playing an equal role in our society.
Yeah. Last question. Which age group is the best age for learning?
To be my concern, all age groups are for study purpose, and learning some new things. It's not dependent on difference on ages. Whenever we start to study in our early childhood also, after that, and now we study a long days, because for instance we are studying also now. We are lot of people studied a lot, because after 13 years, after 14 years, they studied a lot. In this modern world, everyone changes a lot. depending on their situation, they studied a lot. So age is not a limiting factor for learning new things. We will study any age for academic, and also we can learn more knowledge.
Yes, that's the end of part 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Which topic you want? Which section do you
Part
want?
3.
Okay. Okay. What kind of advice do parents give to their children?
Could you please repeat the question?
What kind of advice do parents give to their children?
I think that the parents should give advices like how to face a difficult situation in their life and how to handle in a proper and neat way. For example, we have seen in the newspapers that the CBSE results has out. So many of their children have a lot of good marks and higher grades as well. So I have seen in social media that with their mark sheets. So I think that it is a negative feedback for those who didn't get high scores. So as a parent, in my mind, we have to consider the other parents as well to empathize others' feelings as well. So one of the important feature or advice that should give to the children is the empathizing. We should understand others' feelings so that we can be a good human being.
Okay. How do experts give advice to others? For example, doctor gives advice to patients.
Sorry? Actually, I have some internet
How
problem.
do-
My baby is also crying.
Okay. No issues. I repeat the question.
Okay.
How do experts give advice to others? For example, doctors gives advice to patients.
How
Think
do
you mean
experts
advice?
advise to
How
others?
do how do experts give advice to others?
Anish, it's advice, not advice.
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Could
Anish?
you please tell me the
Anish?
chat box?
Anish, it's advice,
Sure.
not advice.
Advice, ma'am.
No, it's advice, not advice.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, you should say advice instead of advice, because nobody can understand if you say advice.
Advice.
Mm-hmm.
How do experts give advice to others?
Mm-hmm.
How do experts advise to
Give advice.
others? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I sent it in chat box.
Yes. Now I can see. As far as I'm concerned, firstly, there are a lot of ways the experts can advise others. They can give practical advices like how to manage the time or how to keep healthy. For example, when we go to a doctor, as he is an experienced person, we are going to him for consultation. So he can give good advices about our health. For instance, if a diabetic patient is going to take some checkup with the doctor, he is known about the diseases and how it affects our body. So he can give the best decisions that could be affected to
Rousiya, continue.
Situation.
I'm cheering on. Yay, Rousiya. Good job. All right. Okay. Okay, so let me give some comments about advice. When you use advice as a noun, and this is the spelling of the noun is this. Advice. This is noun. So this word, you cannot put S because this is an uncountable noun. So you don't say the doctor gives advices. No, you say the doctor gives it's either an advice or I give some advice. That's the thing that you should say. But this kind of advice, this is a verb. Let me type. So this spelling, it's the S instead of C. It's a verb. So this one you can put S when the subject is singular. Let's say the teacher advises the students to behave. So advises, because it is a verb. The noun, the C, is not, you cannot put S because it's an uncountable noun. Okay?
Okay.
It's easy to get confused, but I'll leave it like that for now so that you can remember and you can retain the information more when you Google it yourself. Google it yourself and see, because this time when you Google, it's like you have a visual of the meaning. Okie dokie. So now it's Rousiya's turn to ask Aneesh question, I think. I'm not sure about that. Okay. So Rousiya, are you ready to ask questions, or your child is bothering?
Rousiya told him she will speak later, other people can continue.
Okay. So Farheen,
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
can you ask questions to Aneesh? And then Aneesh can
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
you questions. Thank you.
Ma'am, already
You already spoke?
yeah, already I spoke.
Okay, sorry.
Then next time we'll continue also because someone is waiting.
I missed that. Okay.
Farheen?
So is it okay, Aneesh, if you give questions to Farheen?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Hi, Farheen.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Which section you want?
Part 3.
Okay. Should parents set goals for children?
Yes, I
Should parents set goals for children?
Okay. Yes, I personally believe parents set some sort of goals to their children in a very early age, because in a childhood, children have a clean mind, a fresh mind. So if parents set any goals, they capture in their mind and prepare themselves to their according to their dreams or ambitions. It's a very useful and beneficial for the career of the children, because parents always give them a very good options and support them to achieve their goals.
When do young children start to set goals for themselves? when the young children start to set goals for themselves? I don't think so. They can set their goals by own self because and nowadays children have so many variety through online media and social media as well, and most of the option is not beneficial for them. Many people, many children interested in video games and social networking. It's really harmful for their brain and physical activity and physical health as well. So it's good for children to give advice from parents and set their goals.
What kinds of goals are not realistic?
I think many goals can achieve a normal student because no one can difficult when we put hard working on our ambition, but some sort of imaginary goals, I think it's difficult to achieve it, like skydiving is not easy for every children, and these kind of of ambitions and goals is not take it easy for any child.
Okay. Why do people set goals?
People set goals for their future career. Many people set their goals like I became a software engineer, so I study math, chemistry and physics, and I will work very hard and become an engineer. So this type of sorting, most of goals regarding their professional careers and regarding their studies, direction, like a movie director is not easy target to achieve it, but many students can prepare media, study media sciences to become a director.
Okay. The last question is, what would you feel if you couldn't achieve your goals?
It's a very good question. I think creativity is for everyone, and we have taking so many options in our mind. If we could not achieve one target, we should work on it another option. And we should don't give up and lost hope when we won't be achieve any goal.
Okay.
Okay.
Part 3 section is over.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Let me just give a quick feedback. Farheen, your pronunciation is really good. It's all this, the words the examiner won't have to take effort to understand. They are all clear to hear and to understand. But I think you need to improve more on your word collocations. I don't know if you understand what a word collocation is, but you can ask me or you can Google.
Combination of words.
Sorry?
Combination of words.
Exactly.
Collocation.
You got it. You got it, girl. Yes. Good. For example, Okay, when I said word collocation that you need to improve, for example, you said capture, and this was the question about children to learn at an early age. That was the context. I can't remember exactly what are the words, but you said capture, that mind capture, but it's supposed to be absorbed. You know, the mind when it's young, when the children learns about something, their mind can absorb easily. So, and there are other words that you can use instead of absorb, that are similar to that you can use also as a collocation. But in this case, in this context, you cannot use capture. Capture is only like capture, like when you take a picture, even though
Captivity and capture is the same word or they are different?
different, I guess. So now another thing you also need to improve is the combination of your verbs, I think, because I remember you said goals can achieve. So you mean that goals is your subject to achieve something, but I know in the context that you meant that someone can achieve some goals. So you should say goals can be achieved instead of saying goals can achieve. It might be just a slip, but you can listen to the recording. And then another one, you said we should don't give up. I'm not sure if I remember it correctly, like exactly, but it was like this. So instead of saying we should don't give up, you just need to say we should not give up. But you said we should don't give up, and this sentence is incorrect. Okay, Farheen?
Ma'am, may I something? May I ask something?
Yes, sure.
What is the correct tense? Lost hope or lose hope?
Yeah, it depends on the tense of the verb. If you are talking about the past, then you would say I lost hope. That means that the time in the context, then you should say lost when it's in the past, and it's not in the present. You have hope now, but in the past I lost all the hopes that I had, for example. But now if you say lose, then you say it's easy to lose hope, or I lose hope. But most of the time you just say I lost hope, or I've lost hope, because it's hard to say just plainly I lose hope. It doesn't make sense. But you can say I'm starting to lose hope. You can say that if it's in the present.
Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes all these verbs too, you have to listen to people, to the native English speakers, how they use them. And you can have them from videos, movies, English movies, different kinds of shows that you can hear, you can listen, or let's say from any reading materials, you can also get them. Can learn from them. But you see, this is a process. You won't improve overnight. When you learn today, don't expect that tomorrow everything is perfect. It's a process. Sometimes for some it would take a few months, and for others it would take a year or 2 years. Trust me, I've been speaking English on a regular basis for like 2 decades or more, even more than that. But I still make a lot of mistakes, and that's because I'm not a native English speaker. Even the native English speakers, they also make mistakes. So don't feel discouraged if you make mistakes. That's normal when we learn something, when we learn to improve, and we don't learn if we don't make mistakes. Treat the mistakes as gold. It's something that would make you improve, because if you don't make mistakes, you don't need to improve. You don't make mistakes, so there's nothing to improve. But the thing is, you have to face your mistakes. Don't just feel like, oh, I'm shy to speak because I don't want to make mistakes. I had that kind of mindset before, that I was shy to speak in the public, because speak English in the public, because I don't want to be criticized. But now I face it because I want to improve. And I feel that over the past few months, I've improved a little bit. Those things that I used to say, those were like common mistakes for me. Now I slowly corrected them, and slowly I'm getting better. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, guys, I need to leave, but if you want to stay, I can give back the hosting to Faruk. You can stay, because this is an unlimited. So it's up to you guys, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, bye for now. See you tomorrow. No, I'm gonna call Renjith. Yes, pick up, please. Hello, Renjith.
Hello,
Okay, so are you ready to rock and roll?
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so do you want me to ask you first?
Yeah, sure, I'll ask.
You will ask. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Start. So, what is your full name?
My full name is Maria Rita Pamamals. You can call me Rita for short.
Okay, where do you live?
I live, if you are asking about accommodation, I live in an apartment, and it's in a high-rise building. I'm on the 15th floor, and the nice thing about my apartment is I can see the whole city because I'm on the top floor.
So, what job would you like to have 10 years from now?
I will have probably be teaching. I still wanna teach. I will teach in the future. I'm already teaching now, and this has been my career for the last 3 decades. So it's still my dream to be continuing to teach even when I retire.
How useful will English be in your future?
Oh, it's absolutely very useful, because I plan to teach ESL. This is English as a second language. So it's very useful in a way that that's the medium of communication that I'm gonna use. And of course, I'll be teaching English, all the structures of the English language.
How much traveling do you hope to do in the future?
In the future, I will travel a lot, and that's also the reason why I decided to get a job online, so that I can still have a job even when I'm traveling. I actually wanna travel in Europe, in many places in Europe, and also I wanna travel to New Zealand and Australia, and some countries in Asia too. In the future I will do that.
How do you think your life will change in the future?
Oh, it will change in a way that it's more relaxing, because I can decide whether I wanna work or not. Or what I mean is work schedule. For example, working times, I will decide whether I will work 2 hours, 3 hours a day, or just 1 hour in a week. That's my vision. I envision my future like that.
Okay, that's the end of part one questions, and we can move on to part two, cue card, and the cue card is ready in the message.
Okay.
Okay, the question is, describe a book that you enjoyed reading because you had to think a lot.
Okay.
What this book is, what this book was, why you decided to read it, what reading this book made you think about, and explain why you enjoyed reading this book. Okay, we start the 1 minute preparation.
Okay, sure.
Okay, 1 minute starts now.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so I can start speaking now. Over the years, I've read a lot of books, and most of them are interesting. But if I have to talk about one right now, it will be the book that's called A Star Is Born. This is an autobiography of Lady Gaga, whose real name is Stefani Romano. I got interested. I decided to read this book because I saw a movie of Lady Gaga, which is called, it's A Star Is Born, but this is also mentioned in her biography that she was really struggling in the beginning. She was struggling to reach the stardom. She set a goal for herself to succeed in the music industry as well as in the film industry. I really love how this book got me interested because she mentioned about 3 qualities that you should have when you want to reach your goal. And these are she mentioned in this book that it's not only talent is not enough. You have to do hard work and perseverance. And she stated in this book that when she was starting as a musician, she knocked on doors and she got rejected many times, but what kept her going was that goal in her mind to reach her stardom. And she persevered, and then two years ago she achieved her goal as she got an award as an actress, as a best actress. So that was really good. Anyways, that's it.
Okay, moving on to the part 3 question. What are the most popular types of children's books in your country?
In my country, the most popular books are those comic books. For example, Superman, Superwoman books, Spider-Man, those are absolutely popular.
What are the benefits of parents reading books to their children?
Oh, the benefits are, it's tremendous, because when parents read books to their children, it would enhance their cognitive development. I read a study about a mother who read books to her unborn child, even from the womb, and the child could read and could really speak articulately in her second language. So she was reading English books, and that's not their native language. And then the child not only could speak their native language articulately, but could also speak English, or could articulate words at the age of 2. So it would help children in their cognitive ability and in their language skills when parents read books to them at an early age.
Should parents always let children choose the books they read?
It's good for parents to let their children choose, but you have like maybe 10 choices that you present to your child that you think are best for them. So you have 10 choices, and you can let them, okay, pick one, which one you want me to read to you, or which one you want to read. So there is still like limitation, but there are choices. So it's limited to that choices, and children, they love that. Instead of just let them pick from a book stand or bookstore anything that they like. It's nice for children to feel that care from the parents, that they feel that, okay, these are the choices that I can have, and beyond that it's not allowed.
How popular are electronic books in your country?
It's pretty popular now. In fact, like maybe 80% of young generation, they just read books from their phone, and it's popular. They call them ebooks, and it's because it's convenient. They can carry them like maybe 20 books on their phone, whereas if they have the hard copy, they will carry a heavy load of 20 books. So that's why it's popular, because it's easier for them to carry, and they can read throughout the day when they have free time.
What are the advantages of parents reading electronic books compared to printed books?
Well, I think the advantages is marginal. The advantage is, let's say, it's convenient. You don't have to carry lots of books, and you have lots of choices from your device. If you can do that even when you are traveling with your kids, and you can do that from a car, from inside the car while you have a long drive. So you can read to your children. You can even play them as an audio recording. Like I said, the convenience to having like a light load of luggage, that's the advantage.
Do you think electronic books ever completely replace printed books in the future?
It's sad to say, but yes, it will, because it's imminent. You can see it like lurking on the horizon, that people are more enticed now, or are more drawn to electronic books because of its convenience. And people like to travel nowadays, so they want, and while they're traveling, while they are on their holidays, they don't want to have a heavy luggage, or just not able to read because they can't carry a lot of books. When their books are on their device, they can have like 30 books there, and while they're on their holiday, like sitting on the beach, they can read those books. So it will, in the future, I think, will replace. It's sad because I love hard copy books, so but it's imminent.
Okay, that's it.
Are you busy?
Session.
Are you busy, Renjith? I heard your
No.
phone is right. Your phone is
Yeah,
busy with text messages, I guess. There you go.
Yes, yes, but it's messages from Teams, MS Teams.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
no problem.
I'll ask you questions now. Let me see your questions. I'm still browsing. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so your part 1 questions. May I know your full name, please?
My full name is Renjith, and you can call me Renjith.
Thank you, Renjith. May I see your ID?
Yes, this is my passport.
Okay, where do you come from, Renjith?
I am from Kollam, which is a coastal city, and the beach is not too far from the Kollam city.
Okay, do you study or do you work?
Actually, I do both. I am studying English language, as well as I've been working since 2015.
Okay, so let's talk about your job. Do you like your job?
Yes, I do, because I'm currently working in the financial sector, financial planning and wealth management. So I got a lot of opportunity to work with a lot of financial advisors in the United States. So I like to continue my job.
Why did you choose to do that type of work?
Well, I did my post-graduation in finance as a major stream, so I'm so interested to work with finance field also. So I just searched on LinkedIn if any openings in in my hometown in financial field. So obviously I got an opportunity in my current company, so I joined here.
Okay. So now let's move to your hometown. What's the name of your hometown?
My hometown's name is Kollam. So as I said earlier, Kollam is a coastal city, and it is the second district when we count from south to north in Kerala state, India. Kollam is not a big city compared to our capital city, Tirunelveli.
Okay. Is there anything you dislike about your hometown?
Well, in Kollam, recent months, there are the pollution level has increased actually. So I think the city is so much stressed with a lot of traffic also, and the government is trying to build some other bypass roads to overcome this traffic and other pollution problem.
Okay. So did your friends also grow up in the same place as you?
Yes, I'm interested to go with my friends because I'm not an introvert person. I want my friends with me whenever I visit, so I can enjoy with them and I can have food with them. So I feel like uh, I feel nervous when I go alone in anywhere. So definitely I will pick one of my friends with me whenever I go out.
Okay. So now let's move to another topic, that's flowers. Okay. What kind of flowers do you know?
I know several flowers. So when I say uh, related to colors, so I love red color. So obviously I'm so excited to see the rose in red color. Moreover, I like yellow also. You know, our uh, in my garden there is a sunflower, so which is an yellow color as well. So I look I am amazed when that uh, flower appears when I go to garden in the morning.
Okay. Next question. Are there any flowers that have special meaning to you?
Yes, I think around the globe, I think a rose is treating as a symbol of love. So in February 14th, we gift rose to our loved ones as a token of sharing our love.
Okay. So your last question for part 1. Have you planted any flowers?
Yes, I do. In my garden, I planted so many flowers. I think mainly a rose and other native flowers also I planted recently. So I think all of them has grown very well, and I usually water them in time to time. So I'm spending my leisure time in my garden as well.
Okay, so let's move to part 2 now. And your cue card is describe a film or movie that made you laugh. I will send you the, okay, there. Describe a film that made you laugh. What is the name of this movie? Okay, your 1 minute preparation starts now. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okie dokie. Okay, time is up. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay. Over the years, I watched a lot of movies that made me laugh and cry. So I would like to talk about of them. One of them that made me laugh so much is CID Musa. So that is the name of this particular movie, and it is a Malayalam movie. Malayalam is our native language, and I watched this movie 10 years ago initially. Then I frequently watch this movie because it has a lot of situations which uh, made me laugh. To talk about this movie, and its producer is Mr. James, and he is one of his first film is CID Musa. Before that, he associated some movies, and this is his initial project, and it's a tremendous success as well, and it has collected crores in theaters, and it is a big win. It was a big win also at that time, and I watched this family. I watched this movie with my family uh, during uh, during the initial time, and then I frequently watched in my private comfort place as well. And the main actor in this film is Mr. Dilip, and there are other co-actors as well in this film to support his role in an enjoyable way, and they are also done a fantastic job to deliver the comic languages and situations.
Okay, time is up. All right. Let's move to your part 3 questions. Let's see. Okay, your part 3 questions. Do people like comedy?
Yes, they do, especially in our country. Um, people, um, most of the family audience will take the tickets in cinemas for comic movies rather than melody or other type of romantic movies. So I think youngsters and family is more prefer to more love comic, and because they would like to uh, laugh, and they would like to enjoy that film so much.
Okay, next question. Why do people of all ages like cartoons?
Well, as we know, the cartoons have a lot of humor situations. So I think it has it requires some creativity as well to prepare some cartoon serials and shows. So I think that's why are interested are people are interested to watch this movie. Sorry, this type of cartoon films or videos. So I still remember even my childhood. Also, I love watching cartoon movies such as Popeye and Mickey Mouse and all.
Okay, good job. Why do some people like to make others laugh?
I think it's a way of relieving from a difficult situation. So if we convey a message in a humorous way, I think it will get noticed, and as well as it has a power to relieve the pain of others as well if we uh, talk in a humorous manner. So I think the others, I think definitely uh, people love to talk with persons who always talk in a humorous sense. So it's a human nature, and people always love to so much interested to laugh during their talks and all. So I know several people intentionally use some humorous situation or humorous gestures in their communication to convey the message in a proper way.
Okay, your last question. Should teachers tell jokes in class?
Yes, teachers should definitely talk or convey their lessons or things to the students in a humorous way, so that the students will more and more interested to listen at the class. Otherwise, they feel a bit bored when they perceive the classes in a same way. So I think frequently the teachers can use some humorous. Teachers can include some humorous things while they delivering classes to the students.
Okay, all good. So that's about it, Renjith.
Okay.
So your exam is getting closer and closer each day.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So now we'll wrap it up.
Anyway. Sorry.
Are we gonna wrap it up now? Finish?
Yeah, sure, we can. We can.
Okay. So see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, bye. We'll see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, YouTube.